Hey everyone, we're about to jump into something that sounds like it's straight out of a science fiction movie, but it's happening for real.
Just think about that for a second. Seriously, what if robots could actually build the very thing that makes them smart? Well, believe it or not, that's exactly what we're going to talk about today.
All right, so to get this, we gotta learn a new word. It's Terafab. Sounds kind of weird, right? But trust me, it's the key to this whole incredible story. Let's break down what a Terafab really is.
Okay, first things first. Every single smart robot or self-driving car needs a brain to work. And in the world of tech, we call that brain an AI chip. It's this tiny, tiny little computer that does all the thinking, all the learning, everything.
Now let's get one thing straight, because a lot of people get this mixed up. When you hear the word Terafab, you might think it's some new kind of robot, but nope, that's not it at all. A Terafab is actually the place where the robot brains are made. It's a gigantic factory.
Here's the absolute best way to picture it. You've probably heard of Tesla's Gigafactory, right? That's where they build the metal bodies for their cars. Well, the Terafab is the next mind-blowing step. It's the factory that's going to build the car's super smart AI brain. So you have one factory for the body and a whole new one for the brain.
So that kind of begs the question, right? Why on earth would you go through all the trouble of building another giant factory? Why does Tesla need so many of these little AI brains anyway?
Well, the answer is pretty simple. They need a lot of them. I'm not talking a few thousand, we're talking millions and millions. Every single self-driving car needs one. And all those new Optimus robots they're building, they each need one too. That is a whole lot of brains.
But here's the snag. Right now, other companies are the ones making these AI chips. You can kind of think of them like giant chip stores. The problem is, Tesla knows that pretty soon, these stores just won't be able to make the chips fast enough to keep up. They're basically going to run out of stock.
And you know, there's another little problem to think about. What if those big chip stores, which are often in countries really far away, just had to shut down for some reason? If you suddenly can't get any more brains, well, you can't build any more smart cars or robots. So Tesla decided, hey, we need to build our own chip store right here.
Okay, now we get to the absolute coolest part of this entire plan. How exactly are they going to build this new brain factory? Well, this is where things get really, really futuristic.
Get this. They're planning to use robots to build the factory itself. Just imagine that for a second. Robots are going to put up the walls. Then, other robots will come in and install all the super complicated machines that actually make the AI chips. Robots will be the ones bringing all the materials where they need to go. And then, once it's all built, robots will be the workers inside, making more and more robot brains. It's literally robots building a house for robots. Now to pull all this off, the Terafab is built on two brand new, super clever ideas that other factories just aren't using. We're going to call them the all-in-one factory idea and the clean box trick.
So this all-in-one idea, it's all about being super-duper efficient. See, usually, making a computer chip is this long, complicated journey. The design happens in one place, the parts are made somewhere else, and then it's all put together in a totally different factory. But at the Terafab, everything is done under one single roof. It's like growing the wheat, grinding the flour, and baking the bread all in your own kitchen. It's just so much faster.
And this clean box trick is even cooler. To make chips, you need an incredibly, unbelievably clean room with absolutely zero dust. Most factories make the entire giant room, the whole kitchen, perfectly spotless. But Tesla's idea is different. They said, hey, wait a minute, why not just put the chip material, kind of like the cookie dough, inside its own little super clean box? That way, the rest of the factory doesn't have to be perfect, which makes the whole thing way easier and cheaper to build. Smart, right?
So all of this probably sounds like it's from 100 years in the future, doesn't it? Well, it's actually happening like right now. Let's take a look at the schedule.
The huge construction project kicks off in 2026. That is just around the corner. By 2027, the plan is to have the factory making its very first robot brains. And just a couple of years after that, by 2031, the Terafab could be one of the biggest, most important robot brain factories on the entire planet. This is all happening so fast.
Okay, so this whole thing leads us to one final, really big thought. We've seen how robots are going to build a factory to build their own brains. But what happens after that? And that leaves us with this massive question. If robots have a basically endless supply of their own brains, and they can use those brains to get smarter and smarter, what do you think they'll decide to create next? It's pretty amazing to think about, isn't it? And that's a future we're all going to get to watch happen.
Thanks for exploring this with me today.